So the question is, does climate change lead to language change? And the answer to this question is a yes. Few decades ago, Marathi language words like ola kachra, suka kachra, gharguti dhokadayak kachra, they were seldom used in our daily life. But today, many municipalities in Maharashtra use these terms in their daily waste management. The need for these common terms is inherently linked to human induced changes in our environment leading to climate change. For example, in Dutch language spoken in the Netherlands, it has words like vlieg schaamte, that is a flight shame, or you can say shame of flying on airplanes. Or you have words like trein trots, that is train pride, that is proud of traveling on trains rather than on airplanes. But although compared to English and other European languages, where climate change has evolved into a climate emergency, in, in Indian languages, we do not see that reflection of urgency and activism about climate change. But the languages of subcontinent have been historically speaking out loud the linguistic experience of weather events, environmental conservation, and biodiversity. For example, in Khasi, an Austroasiatic language spoken in Meghalaya, there are terms for 12 different types of rain, such as Lapiwtung, that is the prolonged rain with a foul odor that persists for many days, causing clothes to become unpleasantly scented. Or we have in Khasi lap-bam-briew, which is a kind of rain which is devastating and it doesn't cease until some human has fallen victim to a rain triggered disaster. So, hence the name is called human-devouring-rain. Now, in Sanskrit, there's a Sanskrit text named Pramana Mimamsa by the 12th century Jain scholar Hemchandra. Now, in this text, there's a description of seasonal calamities. Now, in Sanskrit, calamity is the word for calamity, one of the words for calamity is iti. Now, iti is the Sanskrit word for a calamity or the plague of the season, and these itis are said to be caused by 7 factors. So, one factor is excessive rain, the other is drought, the third is the locust swarms, the fourth is rats, fifth is the parrots, the birds, and then we have the internal conflicts, which is the legal oppression, etc., and then we have foreign invasion. So you can see that even in 12th century Sanskrit text, we find descriptions about calamities. Now we talk about the some new terms which are used nowadays in today's India. For example, in Kannada language, spoken in Karnataka, the word for urban flood is Nagara Pravaha, or you have Nagara Mahapura, which are increasingly in use in print media in recent years, especially when we know that there are recurrences of chronic flood in the Garden City. Now, in some Himalayan languages of Uttarakhand in North India, there are words for cloudburst. In local languages, for example, Panyo Ban in Kumaoni. Similarly, a specific type of rain is called Sat Jhad, which is a term for 7 days of persistent rains. Now, ice calving is a word which we know from English, but can you imagine that there was a word in Himalayan borderland languages and it was called guv. Guv means ice calving. Now, these words signify that how these climate phenomena have been perceived by local population and the climate change which led to their coinage in recent history. Now, in Gujarat, among the fishing community of the Kharava, now the Kharavas, they observe a 3 to 4 month season of not fishing, of not going and venturing in the sea, and they call it Chaw Masa. This is the 3 to 4 months of rainy season, when the Kauravas do not venture into sea, because they know that it is a breeding period for many species of fish. Similarly, in the central India, in Bundelkhand region and Vidarbha region of Maharashtra, we have the a term called No Tapa. Now, this No Tapa falls in the it's a 9-day period which falls in the month of May and June. Now, this is the period when the daytime temperatures rise up to 50 degrees Celsius. Now, we can see that there is a clear trend towards recognizing the weather events and climate phenomena. Similarly, in Rajasthan, there are sacred community spaces, sacred communities areas, or you can call them conserved areas, which are called Oran. Now, Oran, which are rich in biodiversity, and they include water bodies, and there are communities in Rajasthan which have been conserving these Orans for centuries, and their lives have been intricately linked around these spaces. So when temperatures rise, the people use this Oran to uh, feed their livestock and to take to take respite from the rising temperature. Similarly, similarly in Rajasthan, we have a tradition called Dharadi. Now, Dharadi is a word which means that every family is given charge of 4 to 5 trees to take care of with their life. So they not only protect the tree, but they treat it like a member of their family, and that is what is called Dharadi. So we can see that uh, Indian languages and Indian speech communities have been preserving these words, creating these new words, and dealing with the phenomena called climate change.